Have you ever felt like you were being watched while out camping in the woods alone? My name is Tom, and I love camping. In the summer of 2017, I decided to take a solo trip to a secluded part of the Pennsylvania woods. I was craving some peace and quiet away from the city chaos. After arriving at the campsite late in the afternoon, I set up my tent and started a campfire. The forest was serene, with only the sounds of birds and rustling leaves. But as the sun began to set, a strange feeling crept over me, the feeling of being watched. The first night went pretty normal, but the next day, things started to feel odd. As I hiked and explored, I couldn't shake the eerie sensation of not being alone. That night, while I sat by the campfire, faint noises echoed from the woods. Noises that resembled footsteps and whispering, but each time I shined my flashlight toward the sound, there was nothing. I tried to dismiss it as wildlife, but the feeling of being watched persisted. On the third day of my camping trip, something strange greeted me. Stepping outside my tent, I embraced nature, listening to birds chirping. My gaze landed on the tree in front of my campsite, and I saw a weird mark on it that wasn't there when I set up camp. As I walked closer to inspect, I saw rough slashes like markings etched into the bark, as if some wild animal, maybe a bear, had made them. But I couldn't recall hearing any reports of bears in this area. That discovery put me on edge for the rest of the day, making me extra cautious in my surroundings. The rest of the day went pretty normally, except the feeling of being watched still lingered. As night fell and I settled into my tent, getting ready to sleep, suddenly I heard heavy footsteps moving slowly in a circle around my tent. My heart pounded in my chest, scared, as I wondered who or what was walking outside my camp. Summoning all my courage, I unzipped my tent and stepped outside, armed with a flashlight and my gun. The woods fell silent as I scanned the area but saw no one around. Desperation and fear surged within me. I shouted, "Who's there? Reveal yourself," and fired a warning shot into the darkness, hoping to scare off any wild animal that might be lurking. The echo of the gunshot faded, leaving an eerie silence. Just as I was about to head back into my tent, I caught a glimpse of a figure standing at the edge of the clearing, barely visible in the moonlight. It was a tall, shadowy humanoid silhouette with hair all over its body, watching me. My heart pounded as I shouted at it again, demanding to know who it was. The figure remained silent and unmoving, just stood there staring at me. A sense of dread washed over me, and fear took control. I quickly retreated to my tent, zipping it up as fast as I could. My mind raced with thoughts of what that figure could be, but exhaustion and terror left me paralyzed. I lay there, gripping my gun, waiting for dawn to break, unable to sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning, I packed up and left the campsite, still shaking from the previous night's incident. As I drove away, I glanced at the dark forest one last time. I've never gone back to that part of the woods again, and to this day, I still get chills thinking about those nights. I've gone on numerous trips since then, both solo and with groups, but the things I experienced in the summer of 2017 remain a mystery to me. Was it a ghost, or a Bigfoot, or something far more sinister?